Okay, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. How are you doing? Darkside Phil here live on the stream, and welcome to a large belch to welcome you. Very nice. Welcome to the continuation of Watch Dogs 2. It's day 2 of my ongoing gameplay coverage of this game for you. And so far, so good. Yesterday, I'd say probably after a couple hours of a little bit of a slow start, the game picked up in a big way. And now we can see that Watch Dogs 2 is going to be a much different game than the original. Certainly nowhere near as serious of a game as the original. But also it's not completely over the top. I made the comparison last night of this game to, say, Saints Row. Another good comparison would probably be Sunset Overdrive from a couple years back. But I think a good thing to say as an addendum to that is that it's nowhere near as insanely over-the-top and wacky as those games. You know, those games are kind of like, there's no seriousness to them at all. There's, you know, crazy, just zaniness, silliness, out-of-control stuff. And it's very hard to take games like that serious when it had just such ridiculousness in them. This game has silly stuff, but I think that it's at least striving to have some semblance of rationality with it. It's kind of like, what if there really was this crazy group of hackers that they were all about anarchy and overthrowing this establishment that's basically trying to track everyone, right? But at the same time, they're trying to have fun, and they're going to have these different little quirky personalities and things that are going to lead to them doing things such as hacking a freaking car from a television show and then having it automated drive through the city going crazy. You know, as the police chase it, and then a big finale with explosions and everything. It was pretty cool. So far, so good. I liked hacking the ATMs last night. I definitely am enjoying this game a lot. So far. You know, I'm about 5 hours in now, and I think that it's actually hit that level of stride, where if it stays at this entertainment level throughout the game, that it could be a pretty enjoyable experience, alright? Already, I can tell you, I'm feeling pretty positive about this. Compared to the first game, I think it may actually be a much better game, okay? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think that as an ongoing playthrough, it's going to be something that I'm going to have to balance. And the reason is, if for those who don't know, I guess some people have been playing the game non-stop and have determined that this game, to get through the story, there is some required grinding. Like, you need to actually do some side content in order to get the abilities and stuff unlocked that you need to finish the campaign. And apparently, just the story of the game is around 20 hours long. But if you spend time doing side content and the like, which, by the way, a lot of people are saying it is a pretty big highlight of the game because the side content is really good, that the game could be upwards of 30 hours long, okay? Which is pretty crazy. To give you some perspective here, I just finished Dishonored 2, okay? Now, Dishonored 2, I started playing on Thursday of last week. I played it all day Thursday. I played it all day Saturday. And then I had 2 other sessions of it, one on Friday and one on Sunday. And I finished it at about 15 and a half hours. And that took up, just think about that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major streams. So if this game is really 30 hours long, right? Damn, we're talking, I'm going to be playing this game a lot, right? You know, if you're talking, I need 10 to 12 streams to finish it, or 10 to 12 gameplay sessions to finish it. Today's only going to be 4. So I'm not even going to be halfway through the game by the time I'm done with today, which I wouldn't be surprised if I weren't halfway through the game by the end of today. The good news here is that, really, when you look at my gameplay schedule of everything coming up, okay, there is one major new release coming out this Friday, Pokemon Moon, which I will be playing. In fact, what I'm going to do is tonight, possibly. Well, it depends. I have to see how much time I have. I want to mess with my 3DS and the capture device again, because it's been a while since I've done it. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure I know how to do it easily and get it working for Friday. But yeah, Pokemon Moon is starting on Friday. Another game that's probably going to be an incredibly lengthy playthrough. As you know, Pokemon games end up being pretty, you know, time-consuming. Alright? So, Yeah, that's going to be the two games that I'm balancing, Watch Dogs 2 and Pokemon Moon, for the next couple of weeks. The good news is there really is no new high-profile release until Final Fantasy 15, okay? Now, there's a few things in there that I'd like to do. For example, I would like to make a session here where I play Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Zombies, because once I do a session of that, I can then officially review the game, because I'll have played all the game modes. Tomorrow, excuse me, tomorrow I am planning on playing Overwatch, because they actually released a new character called Sombra, and this character is apparently very unique compared to the other characters in the game. She's got a particular game plan and strategy that's very different. Her playstyle is very different from a lot of the other characters in the game. Apparently, there's been another kind of adjustment where certain characters like the Soldier are much better. I heard that they actually buffed Soldier, they buffed Pharah, and there was one other character who they significantly buffed. I think Diva, they gave her more health. But then they nerfed characters like Mei and a couple other characters. So I want to do that. I want to play that. I'm very interested in that tomorrow. I want to check all that out and see what's changed about the game and actually try out the new characters. Okay? So there's Overwatch. There's going to be a session of Zombies in Infinite Warfare. But the good news is there really is nothing else going on until the release of Final Fantasy 15. Therefore, I'm going to have about a little under 2 weeks to play Watch Dogs 2 and Pokemon Moon. Now, in addition to that, alright, when Final Fantasy 15 comes out, I could continuously play one of these games and kind of balance it with that game. Because Final Fantasy 15, I get the feeling, is going to be the kind of game I'm going to be playing till almost the end of the year. Because if it's anywhere as long as Final Fantasy 13 was, I mean, holy shit, remember how long Final Fantasy 13 was? That was an incredibly long game, so I could definitely see 15 being kind of similar length, especially with the amount of game dev time the game has had. So basically what we're going into here is a bunch of longer games that I'm going to be all covering and juggling and playing kind of alongside each other. And that's okay. As long as the games are entertaining, I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I am excited. I hope that you're excited as well for the continuation of Watch Dogs, for Pokemon, and for everything coming up. You know, Overwatch tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good way to end the year with some solid releases that, hey, some of these could end up being Game of the Year contenders. Who knows, right? We shall see. So, everyone. Not much else going on. I'm going to do, I'm not going to really go too much at length here. I was a little bit in a bad mood today. I wake up, and we had all these plans for this morning of stuff that Leanna and I wanted to get done. You know, it was like, oh, we'd like to do this, we'd like to do this. Maybe we could go out and get a coffee, get breakfast together, because Leanna actually had today off of work. Leanna's my girlfriend, by the way. I don't know how many of you, most of you are regulars, I'm sure, but maybe there's like a new person. Like, who the hell's Leanna? Had all these plans, right, and stuff that we want to do. I wake up, and I grab my phone. I say, all right, let me check my emails, because this is what I do. I usually wake up. The first thing I do is check my emails, because there's a lot of business-related emails and stuff that come in overnight. And I usually check on those. You know, there's a lot of things I do behind the scenes. Check the finances, check this, check that. Check the Twitter to see if anything's going on social media, etc. Phone's not working. Phone says that it did an update overnight, even though I did not give it permission to do an update. The way I have all my devices is that they have to ping me for permission to do updates. They're not automatic, because what I found is every time I turn on automatic updates, something doesn't work. And that's bad, because especially for business, I need everything working every single day, you know? If my laptop doesn't work today, I can't do my stream properly, you know? If my computer updates and Windows now is fucked up, I can't do a stream. I can't, I can't upload videos. So it's frustrating when one of my devices decides to do whatever it wants against my will. I don't know why that happened. But anyway, phone doesn't work. It's on, but it won't connect to anything. So I'm fucking around with this phone for literally about 25 minutes. I can't figure it out. I check my modems. My modems seem to be working. Like, all the lights are on. Everything looks good. So then I said, I don't know what's going on. So I go to my office, and no internet in my office. Like, what is this? Now I know there's something serious, because that means the internet itself is out, because I have two modems. I have one modem for all my wireless in my house, and one modem just for my live streaming and my YouTube uploads. I purposely separate them from each other, so that way if one goes out, the other one still works, and I can at least do some kind of work. So So the good news is it wasn't a major deal, but I was very, very frustrated because I had all these plans for this morning that got shot out of the blue, and I couldn't do them because I have to sit here and try to figure out what's going on with my internet, right? Got to get up and running for work. So, luckily, and this is one of the major benefits of obviously living with your significant other, is that Leanna says, all right, well, you know, you stay home. You got to figure this out for work. I'm going to go out. I'll be right back. So, the good news is it wasn't anything big. It was just some kind of a fluke with the modems. I've lived here for 2.5 years, and not once ever have I had to restart my modem in order to get the internet to work. Usually it was something outside of that. You know what I mean? Like, the actual internet was down with my provider, or let's face it, a couple of times I was DDoS attacked, stuff like that, or something else. Usually it's always something else. This time, the simple solution was to restart the modems. This is pretty much the last thing I would have thought of because it's never worked before. Ever since I've lived here, just restarting the modem didn't fix the problem. Today it just happened to do so. So the good news was, after about an hour of fucking with stuff, I figured out, you know, everything worked. And as soon as I finally got everything working, Leanna shows up, and she went out, and she got us coffee and breakfast, and I was like, oh my god, this is, like, perfect. Like, this is exactly what I needed to turn this shitty morning around. And she got us frappuccinos, she got me a nice breakfast sandwich. Oh, it was good. So, all is right with the world in regards to that, thank goodness. And that is one of the major positives of living with your significant other, is that you actually get to help each other in situations like this. You know, just recently, she was under the weather. She wasn't feeling too good, so I helped her out, you know, when she wasn't feeling good. So, for those of you out there who say, ah, bah, humbug, I don't need a significant other, I don't need to be in a relationship, I'm a loner, you know. I was like that for a long time. Listen, I was like that for most of my youth. I just was not interested in any kind of a committed relationship. I was not interested in sharing my life with one other person. I had a lot of friends, and I spent a lot of time traveling and playing Street Fighter and doing stuff like that, but the committed relationship deal had nothing, you know, I was so uninterested in it. I was like, I'm on my own way, I want to be my own man, my own, you know, freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and all of that. You know, in a lot of ways, my early YouTube career was a lot like that too. It was because I had this complete freedom of my schedule, right? That I could play games like crazy and upload a million videos and do whatever. And now it's a lot different. Now I'm on a schedule because I have to balance my time with Leanna. She has to have the car and stuff to go to work and do things, while we have to have dinners and stuff and meals and a day every week when we could go out and do errands. It's a lot different than it used to be. But seriously, is it such a good life compared to being by myself solo? It just makes things so much better, seriously. So there you have it. Just thought I would share that little bit of positivity with all of you. Of course, as I'm saying all this, I'm not even kidding you, the coffee just hit my colon. And my stomach is now saying, you need to use the bathroom. As I'm telling you all of this, that's literally what's happening in my colon right now. So I think I need to end the pre-stream. Alright, let me put it this way. I'm not even going to do plugs today. I don't need to do plugs every day. And the bottom line is, you guys and gals know out there what you could do to help me out, between the Loot Crate link, between my Twitter, between KO Gaming, between Patreon and everything. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it today. I'm in a good mood. Alright, let's end the pre-stream. Nature calls. I'll go use the restroom. And then as soon as I come back, we'll jump right into Watch Dogs 2. How does that sound? In fact, you know what? Here, I'll go into the game, and you'll hear the atmospheric noise of the game. Oh, great. It says that the network went down. It says PlayStation Network services are needed or something.
Hey, Marcus,
oh, no, now someone's talking.
Am I gonna like it? I'm gonna say.
Alright, now there's an audio log. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. Alright, everyone. I'm gonna end the pre-stream, go use the restroom. I'll be right back, and then it's time for Watch Dogs 2, alright? So, thank you, and I'll be right back.